Gaming journalism altogether is dead these days. Gaming journalism is a shell of what it previously used to be. It is nowhere near as good as it used to be in the past. Like, I've made a whole entire video about how terrible gaming journalism is, specifically talking about Kotaku in the past. And obviously, Kotaku is one of the ones that we're going to be mentioning. And when I'm talking about this, like, you look at the heading of this video and you probably just think like, oh, it's just them kind of, you know, saying like having bad opinions about Elden Ring. How bad can it really be? It's not that. It's not that they have some bad opinions about Elden Ring. Because if someone had some terrible opinions, I'd just be like, oh, this person's just an idiot. That's all it is. But these are like next level, like absolute terrible pieces of fucking, like, I don't even think that you can call these reviews of Elden Ring like an actual review. So this first one right here, we're going to be getting into the Kotaku review for Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree DLC, which if you don't know, I am absolutely hyped for. And if you're watching this, there's probably a massive chance that I am playing it, because by the time I upload this video, I'm uploading this video on the same day that the Elden Ring DLC is getting released, and you can bet your ass that Donnie will be playing it, streaming it, and hyped as hell for it. But this first piece is by Kotaku, specifically by Alicia Mercanti. And if you don't know who this woman is...
You know what I want? What you really, really want? I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people. And maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say we don't want you around if you're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful. And that the games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Like, if you had to summarize some of the worst people that exist on Twitter, I would 100% think that she'd have to be in the top 10, even if not the top 5 of some of the worst. She's the reason why people hate Twitter these days. 100% one of the reasons why people hate Twitter. And she put out her review on Shadow of the Erdtree a few days ago, and we're gonna go through it. Let's go through the Elden Ring DLC review by Alicia. So she starts off here. Until Elden Ring, I have avoided Souls-like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what? That was the same as me. I actually wasn't a massive fan of Souls-like games until Elden Ring, but at this point in time, before the DLC comes out, I have put 85 hours into the game, and I absolutely love it. Their punishing difficulty and rigid boundaries frustrated me immensely. I hit a wall in Dark Souls Remastered and gave up. Barely touched Bloodborne and avoided Sekiro like it was a poison swamp. In the real world, I have mostly avoided the ear of homophobes and misogynists in the games industry, writing an article that temporarily shakes them up before fading into relative obscurity once Reddit refreshes, but now I am willingly subjecting myself. I don't give a fuck about your real life Twitter beef that you have with some other guy who's probably sitting like in his basement. I don't give a shit that you're fighting these homophobes and misogynists in the game. No one cares. She then goes on to write in the next paragraph, before I even make that connection between my real life world and FromSoft's game world, which, you know what, those Elden Ring and your real life, you're not the main character, so they have no connection whatsoever. I subsequently attack Shadow of Erdtree with dogged determination, as if besting a boss would bleed into my everyday and imbue me with a higher tier of self-confidence. Much like how it feels to receive near endless hate comments from anonymous accounts or angry middle-aged men, I face Shadow of Erdtree entirely alone. No multiplayer summons would work for me. Once again, we do not care about the fact that you have to face people on Twitter because all you want to do is you live on Twitter. This woman is one of those people who live on Twitter. She is one of the reasons why Twitter has become like it is. No one cares. Not only that, not only is she putting her own personal bullshit into this review as well, is that she actually gets some of the points in this review completely fucking wrong. In this paragraph right here, which is outlining the start of the game, after touching the withered hand of Mikola in the Mogwin Palace Mausoleum, I am transported to the realm of shadow. I walk up a small narrow path before emerging into a massive open plain. In the distance, the Erdtree. That's not the Erdtree that's in the DLC. The Erdtree is in the base game. It's where you fight Melania. That's what the Erdtree is. You're talking about the scattered tree. That is a tree. How do you write a review for a game? First of all, you project your own personal bullshit that has nothing to do with this game, that no one really gives it. We don't care about the people that you fight on Twitter every day. And then you completely get wrong some of the parts in the game as well. Not only this as well, but she goes on to talk about how she hasn't even finished the DLC as well, that she spent nearly 20 hours with the Shadow of Erdtree. And then she also states in the article as well, is that she received this key on June 12th, played it for 2 weeks. She even posts this on her Twitter, talking about after 2 straight weeks of work, Mummy is taking a much needed, that made me throw up in my mouth just reading Mummy, vacation. So in 2 weeks, you only put 20 hours into the game. Like, I know you have to write the article as well, which, I mean, takes so much of your time to, you know, I could definitely tell that you put a lot of research into your article, specifically, you know, even though you got a lot of shit wrong when it came to certain parts. Like, dude, all you have to do is a quick little Google search. Oh, what is the tree that is in the DLC for Shadow of Erdtree? That's all you had to do, but you got it completely fucking wrong. Like, me, myself, I put 10 hours yesterday, but when this video is like being recorded, I streamed for 10 hours straight just versing Melania. And I didn't even get fucking paid for that. I did that shit for free. I versed Melania for 10 hours straight. And in 2 weeks, all you could put was 20 hours. I remember back in the day when gaming journalists and people who reviewed video games, as soon as they got that key, all they did was stay up day and night. Like, I remember I used to watch game reviewers back in the day. Now I don't, because they're a complete fucking joke. They used to stay up like 24/7 to finish the game and get every little detail of the game that they could, and outline, put the review in the sections, put the sections of like what the gameplay is like, what the story is like, what the graphics are like, what the characters are like, every single detail in the game. Talk about what the good parts of the game was, what the shit parts of the game was, and then give it a nice fair score at the end. You just ramble on for a whole fucking article at the start, putting your personal shit, which no one cares about, getting a lot of information wrong, and you don't even finish it. You didn't even finish Can you even make a review if you didn't even finish it? But you know what? I'll give Alicia props for this. At least she did say it was good. She did enjoy it. She does like the game. She said that it was very good. The game is beautiful itself, which, you know what? I mean, how could you not like the game? How could you not like Shadow of Erdtree, Elden Ring, and give it a good review? It's one of the greatest games to ever be released. And that's not just an opinion. That's a goddamn fact. But wait a minute. What's this? Eurogamer posted their review on Elden Ring's DLC, and they gave it a 3 out of 5? Hold up. A 3 out of 5. Now, there must be something sus when it comes to this review score, because this surely just doesn't make sense whatsoever. So let's go through this one as well, because this one is also extremely fascinating as well. And I just want to say, before we do get into the review, that obviously the person who did review this game, their name is Alexis Ong, and they have privated their Twitter, because I feel like they probably would have gotten some backlash from this review. The funny thing about this review is that right here, she states that this, however, feels like difficulty for difficulty's sake, turned up to 11. So in reality, the reviewer just thinks that this game is somewhat too difficult. They also mention about how the DLC doesn't actually, you technically don't have to finish the core game, which you don't. to be able to like access the DLC, you don't have to finish the core game. You just have to beat Mog, which is down like underneath the whole entire map. I can't remember what the area is called, but you have to defeat him and then you can access the DLC. But if you're going to write a review on the game, I would hope that you would finish the core game itself. Because if you're going to write a review on a game and give a score for the game, you need to be able to know every little bit of the core game and the DLC itself. So the fact that she didn't even finish the core game, calls it too difficult, and then go on to talk about how she didn't even finish like the DLC itself. She says right here, I know in my heart that finishing Shadow of Erdtree will be very different, more joyful experience when I can play with functioning multiplayer, because navigating an open world Souls game without that key component is the most pleasureless kind of masochism, which is extremely not for me. Why is it that Eurogamer, like, did Eurogamer just give this girl like Elden Ring? Did they just like pick a name out of a goddamn fucking hat and was just like, all right, we're reviewing the DLC for Elden Ring. Let's see who's going to review this game. We got a name here. And if that's the case, you know what? As much as I give a shit, I can somewhat, I sympathize her, I think, a little bit on that, because I looked through some of the other games that she has like reviewed, and nothing itself is like Elden Ring. But even then, she gave Alan Wake a 3 out of 5, which I have only heard extremely great things about. And then I looked through her more. She gave Goodbye Volcano High 5 stars. You give Goodbye Volcano High 5 stars, but you give the Elden Ring DLC, a DLC to one of the greatest games of all time, which has been getting rave reviews right across the internet. You give that 3 out of 5 because you find the game too difficult and you didn't even finish the core game or the DLC, but you were given reins to be able to review the whole game. What the fuck is gaming journalism? These articles are one of the reasons why people don't like it anymore. Are these gaming journalists even actual gamers? Like, it feels like it's the exact same when it comes to developers these days. Like, it doesn't feel like the people who are making games and reviewing games for the public are even fucking gamers anymore. They're just random people. It's like they finished their journalism like degree, and they didn't know they couldn't get into like the New York fucking Times, but Kotaku, Eurogamer, IGN was just like, fucking, you didn't get to New York Times, it's alright, we'll fucking take you, don't worry, just come over here. You know, we don't want these actual gamers. You know, we don't want people who actually play games. We just want people with bullshit, stupid degrees that actually really don't matter. What the fuck is wrong with gaming journalism these days? I feel like I could make a gaming journalism website and make it 10 times better than the shit that half these gaming journalists put out. Honestly, I feel like if I had enough money to be able to buy every single new game, because I'm not going to get any keys from it. Like, who's gonna give some random dude on the internet keys? No company's gonna do that. But if I had enough money to be able to buy every single new game and review it, I feel like I could do 10 times better than these bullshit modern day gaming journalists could ever do, because they're just terrible. They're terrible. They plug their own bullshit into the articles, and then they don't even enjoy the games that they're reviewing. How are you supposed to, how are you reviewing a game when you're not even an actual gamer? When you don't enjoy that type of game? What the fuck? Man, this video is definitely about, it's obviously about when it comes to, these two articles being fucking stupid when it comes to reviewing Shadow of Erdtree. But this video in general is also just about how terrible gaming journalism is. Like, it's been an ongoing topic for a long time now, especially in the last 2-3 years, and it just seems to be just getting worse and worse. But I'd like to hear what you guys have to think about this down below. That's it from me. Peace out.